Hi everyone, welcome to Helppo. I'm Catherine Slingsby. Today we're going to be talking about the IELTS, specifically examining how to approach sentence completion questions from the general reading section. While the examples are drawn from the IELTS General Training Exam, which is for people who want to work in or immigrate to an English-speaking country, the principles are the same for the IELTS Academic Exam, which is for people who want to attend university in an English-speaking country or seek professional certification. If you'd like to practice answering questions before hearing our explanation, please pause the video so you can read the questions to yourself. Alternatively, the practice questions used in this video are publicly available on the official IELTS website, links below. You can pause the video now, read the passage and questions at your own pace, and then join us again when you're finished. Ready? Let's get started. Step 1. Read the instructions. The IELTS always gives precise instructions. Failing to follow these directions can result in your answers being marked incorrect, even if the content is correct. In the case of sentence completion questions, the instructions usually read like this. Complete the sentence below. Choose no more than 3 words from the text for each answer. There are 2 important pieces of information here. The first is that the instructions are asking for a specific number of words, in this case 3 or fewer. This means that 3 words, 2 words, or 1 word is okay, but 4 or more words will be marked incorrect. Pay attention, because different reading sections will ask for different numbers of words. Sometimes the instructions will ask for no more than 2 words, while other times it will specify 1 word. Whatever the number the instructions use, be careful not to exceed that number, as this will cause your question to be marked incorrect. The second important piece of information is that you are supposed to use words from the text itself. Namely, do not paraphrase ideas. Use synonyms or otherwise summarize concepts to answer the question. The graders are looking for the exact words present in the text. Step 2. Figure out which type of word you need. If you have studied English, then you know there are many types of words. Words can be nouns or verbs or adjectives, to name a few. Nouns are generally objects, like a table or an apple. Verbs are action words, like running or cleaning. Adjectives are descriptions for objects, like red or beautiful. To ensure that your answer is grammatically correct, one of the best things to do when looking at a question is to determine what kind of word you need before you begin examining the text. Doing so will help you avoid getting confused by the passage and narrow down your word choices. Let's take a look at question 1 to illustrate what this would look like. The question reads, in an emergency, a teacher will either phone the office or blank. In this case, we can look at the structure of the sentence to determine what type of word we're looking for next. Since the blank we're trying to fill in is after a conjunction, or, we need to start by understanding what a conjunction is. In simple terms, a conjunction is a word that connects other words, phrases, or sentences together. In this particular case, the word or is connecting 2 phrases together. For this question, this means the words directly before or are going to be the same type of words as the ones located in the blank. Since the words before or are phone the office, we are thus looking for a sentence consisting of a verb, article, and noun. If you want to learn more about identifying conjunctions and how to use them to your advantage in the IELTS, we have an entire video on the topic. The link is in the description. Let's continue. Step 3. Use the content of the question, word limit, and type of word to scan the passage for the answer. Once we've determined how many words we can use and what type of words we're looking for, it's time to go hunting for the exact phrase we need from the text. Since we're currently working our way through question 1, let's start at the beginning of the text. We know from the question that we're looking for information relating to actions a teacher should take in an emergency. This should lead us to the sentence which begins, in cases of emergency, find the nearest teacher who will send a messenger at full speed to the office or inform the office via phone extension 99. We know this is the right sentence because the first half talks about what a teacher should do in an emergency. And the second half talks about telephoning the office, which was also part of the question. Now, we just need to find the verb, article, and noun we're looking for. The sentence only has 3 verbs: find, send, and inform. Of those 3, only send and inform are immediately followed by an article and a verb. Since inform the office is linked to the concept of a phone, which is already covered in the question, we know send a messenger must be the correct answer. Step 4. Write your answer on the answer sheet as soon as you found it. Unlike other sections of the IELTS, there is no extra time on the reading sections for transferring your answer from the question sheet to the answer sheet. This means you should copy the right answer onto the answer sheet as soon as you find it. Additionally, the IELTS deducts points for spelling mistakes in answers. Since this type of question wants you to copy exact phrases from the test, getting the spelling correct should be easy, as long as you don't leave it for the end of the section when you're rushed. Instead, record your answer as soon as you find it, and take a few seconds to double check that everything is spelled correctly. Step 5. Mark where you found the answer on the test. One of the key elements of the IELTS reading section is that questions are usually presented in the same order as the information in the reading passage. This means that if you find an answer in the passage, you know the answer to the next question must be below it in the reading passage. If you're taking a paper test, drawing lines on the test allows you to eliminate any material in the passage that you've already used for an answer. If you're taking a computer test, highlighting answers as you select them makes it easier to find the answers to the next question. Indeed, if you reach a question you're not sure about, you can always skip it and move on to the next one. Finding the answer to that next question will help you answer the one you were having difficulty with. For example, let's pretend that we were struggling to answer question 2, so we decide to move on to question 3. This reads, if possible, students should leave the building by the blank. Based on the structure of the sentence, we know that we're looking for a noun because the word before the blank is an article. However, we also know from our studies of English that adjectives can occur between articles and nouns, so we might be looking for an adjective and a noun. When we look at the passage, we know we're looking for information on how the students are leaving the building. This leads us to this sentence. Classes will vacate the premises using the nearest staircase because vacate the premises means leave the building. We know we're looking for a noun or an adjective and a noun, which brings us to the words classes, premises, and staircase. We've already eliminated premises since that's a synonym for the word building, which is already in the question. In the same fashion, classes is a synonym for students, which leaves us with the word staircases. Since we can answer with up to 3 words, it makes sense to grab the adjective nearest as well, making the answer nearest staircase. That was a lot of work. However, we now have 2 answers we're confident in. If we mark lines on the question sheet indicating where the answers are for questions 1 and 3, we know that the answer for question 2 must be between those lines. This is useful as it decreases the words we need to examine to answer question 2. If you ever find yourself stuck on a particular question, you'll be glad you marked where the answers to other questions were located on the test. I hope you found this overview helpful. Remember, if you want to answer sentence completion questions correctly, you'll need to read the instructions. Figure out what type of word you need. Use the content of the question, word limit, and type of word to scan the passage for the answer. Write your answer on the answer sheet as soon as you found it. Mark where you found the answer on the test. That's all I have for you today. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you found this video useful, please give us a like, subscribe to this channel, and share it with your friends. Our sponsor for this video is Helppo, an online tutoring company specializing in connecting students with friendly tutors from top U.S. schools like Harvard University and the University of Chicago. If you need help preparing for the ACT, SAT, HKDSE, or IELTS and others, consider making an appointment at hihelppo.com, or you can reach out to Helppo's Student Success Team by sending us a WhatsApp message. Links to everything are below in the description. Videos like this wouldn't be possible without the support of the Helppo team. Our scriptwriters include graduates from top schools across the U.S., such as MIT and the University of Chicago. Together, they have over 15 years of experience helping students succeed. A special thanks goes out to our production staff as they work tirelessly to get the content to you, our wonderful viewers. As always, have a great day and best of luck on the IELTS.